Hi, this is Laura from Divine Light Yoga. One of the most common questions that I'm asked is how do you make yoga cool for teens? How do you keep teenagers connected and engaged during a yoga session? So for those of you that have experience with teenagers, you'll know that they can often come into the class with a little bit of attitude, maybe thinking that everything's going to be boring and lame. And so as the facilitator, it's our role to ensure that we keep it engaging, interesting, fun, and interactive for this age group, or for all age groups. So my most important tip, I would say, for working with teenagers is to give them a reason and an explanation as to why you're doing anything. So at this age, they're really capable of doing anything that you would usually do in an adult class. So all the different meditations, creative visualizations, challenging poses, pranayama techniques, even some of the kriyas, the cleansing techniques. But it needs to be presented in a more interactive and interesting manner. And we need to tell teenagers why we're doing it and what it's important for. So giving them an explanation, a reason for each of these weird and wonderful techniques that we use is going to open their mind and give them more of a reason as to why they're doing it. So if you just introduce a pranayama technique but don't tell them what it's useful for or when they can use it, or if you don't explain it properly in simple terminology that they can understand, then they're less likely to use it outside the classroom, and maybe they'll be less interested in actually joining in, so probably won't participate properly. So always explain and give them reasons as to why you're doing each and every technique. You don't have to go too in depth with it, just give them a little explanation as to what's going on. So my second piece of advice for working with this age group is to find out their interests and their insecurities on day one. So ask them, what are they interested in learning? What different aspects of yoga would they like to learn about? Why have they joined the class? Why have they chosen to do yoga rather than something else? What are they fearful about? What do they have doubts about with regards to yoga? So I usually, on my first session with teenagers, I will give them each 3 post-it notes, 3 little pieces of paper, and ask them to write down one thing that they are working on. So it could be a pose or a meditation or a breathing technique. One thing that they would like to learn, and one thing that they're maybe a little concerned about or have doubts about with regards to yoga. And then I get them to stick it up on the wall on a large piece of paper. And throughout my 8-week session with the children, with the teenagers, I will ensure that I cover all of these different poses and techniques, so that I'm making sure that throughout the sessions I'm at least covering all of their interests, their insecurities, their doubts, and something that they would like to learn. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about how to work with teenagers, you could join one of our workshops, or you can have a look on my online blog. So I have recently had an article published with the Elephant Journal, so you can check that out. It's 5 tips for working with teenagers, how to make yoga cool for teenagers. And you can find it on the link below, divine-light-yoga.com/blog. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great time with your teen yoga classes.